buy my own car. Right, well today we're back on some maintenance with the old Land Cruiser. If you haven't seen the video that we put out last week, so we put a video up of Elan Valley. We're going back probably in the next couple of weeks to do some more lanes around there, but definitely go check that one out. It's a great views, great dam, some nice little bits of off-roading. It's a good one. Today we've got some new shock absorbers to go on the back. They're factory height, but they should help with the excess sag that we've got on the back. We've got new springs coming. They're just unfortunately not here yet, so we've got some shock absorbers to go on, we've got a gearbox mount to go on, and we're going to finish off those radius arm bushes that we didn't get done last time, because Milner Off-Road have sorted out the replacement ones. Great service from them. I mentioned that obviously one of the things were wrong. They replaced it, sent it out next day. Happy days. So we've got them sat here ready to go on, so let's get cracking on some more maintenance. Right, so changing this shock absorber. Now the springs are pretty dead as well, they're really sagging, so unfortunately I've got to change them as well, which we have got on order. It's not an issue, it's just we don't have them today. So what we're going to do, first step of everything, jack up the car, get the wheel off. You can do this part with the wheel on, so the bolt that you've got to get to is actually in that gap. Now the easiest access if you haven't got a body lift is up and over the top there, where those two lines run. You get your hand in over the top there, you can see the suspension going straight up, and you get your hand in right over the top there, and it's a quarter of a turn on a ratchet at a time. It's a 15mm nut, and it's a pain in the backside. So we've got this side undone already. We've got that side to do. We'll crack on with this side and we'll time lapse the other side. We've got the shock out. Yeah, the nut down here. This one here on the bottom was a 17mm. The one at the top, which is through that gap there, is a 15. You can see just there, that hole, that's where it mounts to. Comes down. And this is the old shock here. Okay, and it's pretty dead, like, you know, one-handed you can squeeze that down, and it's very, very slow. So they're pretty dead. Definitely needed replacing. Get ready for some nice fresh ones. We've got a nice new rear actuator in there. If anyone wants an install video on one of them, we can do that. But that's for the rear locker, so that's all working now. Yeah, let's get the new one. So I've got behind me here the shock absorbers from Milner. Now I did say at the start of this how they've sent out new bushes, and they have been great. They've you know, they admit they were wrong. They sent out new ones, blah blah blah. Great service, no problems. And they've sent me the wrong bush again. So we're not doing that today. We're going to get these shocks on. We're going to get the gearbox mount on, because I've got that one here as well, and that does look right. So we're going to get them on, and we'll do that radius arm next week. So these are the shock absorbers here. I'll just grab this one out of the box. Nice new shock absorbers. Now they come with fixing kits, which is nice, so you don't have to worry about saving old bolts. It's recommended to do two full compressions and let it re-release before you actually fit these, and that just sets like the gas pressures inside it apparently. So we're going to do that now and then get them installed. Right, so new shock absorber, new bushes, new little washer in the end. Now the way I'm going to do this is I'm going to put this this pin end straight up through the hole, and then I'm going to force the eyelet onto here by just compressing the shock absorber. We're going to make our life a little bit easy and just grease this lower, put a little bit of grease on this lower sort of mount, a little bit in the hole just to help it slide on. Don't put loads on because obviously it'll move around, but just a little bit to help get it on. A little bit of lube goes a long way. So we'll get this up here, just compress the shock absorber up, and then it should just slide on here. There we are. And then we get a nice new bolt and a new washer that all come with the kit. So fixing is included, which is nice. And I'm hoping this will be the same as it was taking it off. It should be a 17. Yep, 17. Ugga to spec. We'll go around that with a torque wrench at the end, but I won't bore with that on camera. So we'll get underneath and we'll show you how to get the top one on. Up here is where you got to mount. You got to be able to get your little hands in there and feel around, and you'll see the well, you won't see it, but you'll feel the pin of the top of the shock. Now, the way it goes on is you have these bushes, this bush and these two washers. One has a concave side and the other has the protruding side. Now, when my other ones came off, they came off in rusted mess. So I'm going to assume, with all my years of doing this and fighting things, that this protruding side seats inside the metal housing of the actual shock mount, and then obviously your normal bolt will bolt down there. And it's just my assumption. I'll correct myself if I'm wrong, but hopefully that will go on top of the pin, not on top. Tighten it down, job done. Now the new nut is a 14, not 15, and it could even be that the original was a 14 that swelled so much that my 15 went on nicely. So don't quote me on the top one. The bottom one, definitely a 17. That's 2 full compressions all the way down until you feel it hit the bottom, all the way back up. Don't pull it back up, just let it do its thing. And once these are done, they're ready to be installed. There we are. I disappeared off camera for a little minute there. Now, oh, my head every time I sit down. You'd think I went in for a cup of tea or something. What I was actually doing was I was underneath the car there, and this side was, I thought, was a pig. On the passenger side is actually really easy compared to the driver's side because it has the exhaust in the way. So that was an absolute nightmare. Now, the bolt on the top of this one was a 16. I checked the bolt on the one in there and it was a 15. These have obviously been changed at some point with different companies or different brands, and they're, well, different. So that was a nightmare because I don't have a MIDI length 16 socket. Oh, it was just a pain. So just be prepared if you're doing that. If somebody else has touched this before you, just make sure that you've got enough tools on hand, because otherwise you're going to have a headache. But bolts are off now. Let's get the shock off, get the new one on, see how it fits. New shock's on. At the back there, we've got springs coming. Now we're going to get this gearbox mount changed. If you can see that. Get that gearbox mount changed, and hopefully things will stop moving around as much. So we've got the new gearbox mount here. We've got to get these mounting points off of the gearbox. It's easier to show you where the bolt holes here are on this one. And hopefully get these ones off. Assuming there'll be 4 on the bottom here as well, because we've got some threaded holes there. So we'll get these off, get the mount off, new one in, bish bash bosh, nice and easy. So this is the old gearbox mount. You can see here where my one is separating from the actual mount itself. So see the rubber coming away there. This is the knocking that I was having on the front. So see how it's completely separated in there. So we've got the nice new one on. I'll get you a quick little shot of that. Oh. So it's very easy to change this, as we were saying. See if we can get enough. There we are. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 bolts on the edge here, and then in this hole there's 2 bolts, and in this hole there's 2 bolts. So you undo all 8 bolts. These ones were a 14, these were a 12. Undo all 8. I jacked the gearbox up off of that. Well, I just jacked the gearbox up off of that mount there in the corner. So I jacked it off. Jacked it up there, and got it changed nice and easy. It took about an hour, maybe not even that. Did a little bit of faffing around, figuring some other things out, because there's another bolt in the middle here, and I wasn't certain where that was supposed to sit, like adjustment wise, but it's, from what I can see, it's just a retaining sort of thing, just in case these fail. I don't think it's there for anything else. So that's it in, and game is called On Account of Rain now. Wow. All this stuff on the side of the road, eh? Oh yes. Right, so we've got everything changed. You might notice that I've changed. Absolutely filthy after doing that, but I'm not too worried. So we've got everything changed. Got the shocks done. Got the gearbox mount done. We're going to take it for a little spin now, and hopefully no knocking. I've only gone down the road now, just hitting a couple of bumps on these corners, and I can already feel the difference on the rear shocks at the back. So that's definitely a good sign. We're going to have to do the fronts. I was going to buy a full kit, like the full big, like 3 lift, 4 lift kit, but I'm not set on what I'm doing yet. So that's kind of the point of why I'm only doing this. Going to refresh the shocks as they are at the minute with the factory ones, but they'll be all new shocks, so at least then I know where I want to be if this 2-inch lift is enough. But so far so good. There we are. So back on the test drive then. No knocking, no banging. The rear shocks feel incredible. It's actually made me realise that the fronts aren't great, so we're going to have to get some front ones ordered and get them done. Just give this a nice refresh before the winter abuse. And then the new year, I'll definitely have made my decision on what sort of lift kit I want to get, because I'm uncertain on whether or not the 2 inches and 33s is where I want to be, or whether or not I want to go further, take it to like a 4-inch lift with 35s and do all the radius arms and the panhard on the back. I'm just waiting to see what I get up to this winter, see if there's any wheeling that it can't cope with, and if there's anything that it can't cope with, we'll go for the higher lift. But otherwise, we're going to get a 2-inch lift kit in the new year. Any recommendations, let me know in the comments. At the minute I'm just looking at the Old Man Emus, maybe the Iron Man set, but yeah, any recommendations, let me know. Cheers guys. Got attacked by my own car a minute there. Now, oh my head. So that's the new suspension on now, which you can't see from there at all. Well, there we are. Right, well, no. Right, just back from the test drive, and we're going to do it all again.